My thing is this: when people are in a real healthy situation, you're in a good situation, right? Your spouse loves you, they treat you right. You may not be a multimillionaire, but you have a decent way of living. And then you see the outside world, and then you bite the apple. And once you bite the apple, out of nowhere, you're the disease in your house. And now you want to be a multimillionaire. Now you became stagnant. Now your spouse isn't doing enough. And now your relationship is hindering you. But if you never saw and compared your life to those whoever else that you're seeing, you would be happy.
Can I answer that with really one simple, and I'm not saying that I agree with this, but I think the response is, when you know better, you do better. And so I think that sometimes when the haze clears and when, the scales come off your eyes, you're like, oh, shit, I've been out here fucking around for a long ass time. I need to be doing something more. I need to be doing X, Y, and Z. So again, these are not post-marriage, conversations, but I think that is like the very easiest way to respond to that.
And my response to that response would be, no, because I've heard it, and sometimes, and I agree, but my response is, it's like, I understand when you want to do more, and if you know better, you do better, right? But we have to understand that more is greed sometimes. When you have something good, you don't need more. You can want more, you can desire more, but you don't need more. And 9 times out of 10, if more was really for you, you would have already been on that path. You would have already been on that journey. A lot of people lose everything chasing more, right? I'll give you a random example. A lot of people go to the casino, right? I was a heavy gambler at one point. It's not that I never lost. It's not that I never won. I actually won all the time. I hit every single time I went to the casino. The problem was I never stopped. So when I never stopped, by the end of the day, I was in the negatives. So that's how I feel like people look at life, and people look at, their life in comparison to... Exactly. I won every time. But I don't stop, so you end up losing it all. Because when you have enough, you never realize what's enough because you're always thinking you can get more.
After you win, you end up putting it all in
When you win, you keep playing. Because the winning is if you get a little bit of a reward for doing something, you're going to think there's more reward.
Give up?
I'm not telling people to give up.
Don't dream big. Don't strive for more.
No, I'm telling people.
The person that you're with for your own healing.
I'm telling people, understand when you have something good, and understand what you don't have might be for your benefit. And when you understand that, then people might stop. I don't believe in dream chasing if you wasn't a dream chaser. You just don't turn on the switch and then risk everything. Now, sometimes it does work, but again, very, very, very few people make that work, make that transition. Most people fail.
Do a lot of different things.
So, going back to the initial question, I think you posed it, Rico, one of y'all, about marriage and are we going down the wrong path, thinking that it's a love thing. I think what the proven concept is having a commitment to something. And I think the something is the marriage, not necessarily the person. So it's okay, we're going to agree to be partners for the rest of our lives, right? And so you're not necessarily committed to that person. You're committed to being in a partnership that includes that person. So I think that is what the proven concept is. So it doesn't matter. So you could be in there for feelings, for money, for support, for to have a trophy wife, whatever, it could be for any reason, but it's about being in the partnership. And so I think that's what the proven concept is, because we all know that feelings fade, love fades, sexual desires fade, all of that stuff. So it goes away. Money's not there. So all these different reasons that people may enter into a marriage, all those things can change. So that because you've predicated your involvement in that relationship on those different things. But if you predicate your involvement on being committed to the partnership, I think it's very different. And I think that's what the proven concept is.
And I agree. And I actually meant to tap onto that part in a way before when I was speaking about what you said. But realistically, the proven concept back in the day when we talked about marriage back then was equal investment. So investment commits you, right? And I think that's one thing that we realize. Like, I feel like nobody has anything. That's why we could fall in love and out of love easily, because we have nothing to lose. You don't have anything to lose. I don't have anything to lose. When you have something to lose, you would treat that relationship differently. That's why people have been married for years for the kids. You know why? Because both parents do not want to surrender time with their kids. When you have marriages that are, rocky, but they have a lot of investments together, they stay in together because also their investments. I think that commitment is usually with some type of tangible or maybe even intangible investment that both has had to put in. And I think we don't have anything. You got people who are getting married who has not a dollar to their name. You got people getting married that have never had an asset, neither has nobody in their families. And then next thing you know, they're like, well, if I do strike something good, I'm leaving with more than I came.
Or would you, I'm sorry, but would you say that time is an investment?
I literally
I don't think that
that's been in my head like this.
Time is not an investment. See, time, all right, so time is an investment. If my answer is my answer. No, time is an investment, don't get me wrong, but time is not a binding investment, right? I might spend 10 years chasing this goal, but if I don't get this goal by the 10th year, I'm going to chalk it up and I might take a different route, maybe something similar, but I'm not going to keep on beating the dead horse. Now, when I have a actual investment that's binding, yeah, like my child or my house or our houses or our image, our social reputation, that binding, what were we saying? Binding investment, that binding investment will keep you way easier than time. Don't get me wrong, people do stay together. Like, I've been with them for 10 years or 5 years, and I don't want to wait 5 years, throw 5 years away. But eventually, at this day and age, I think modern day dating, we don't care about how much time we spent with this person. I feel like that's an older concept. Like, I don't care. I spent 3 years. Guess what? Tomorrow's a whole new day.
I just don't want to put my time in somebody else's hands. That's where my fear would come from when it comes to me.
Yeah, when you said that you'd have nothing to lose if it doesn't work out, I wasted
time.
Yeah.
And you're
That's because, think about it, right? No offense, but if we compare with where you two are at right now in terms of what you said, you wasted time. We go back to the proven concept of successful marriages. They wasted land, not time. Your time might come and your time might go, but that land has to go to the child, then has to go to the grandchild, so on and so forth. That land, that asset, that property that they own and that they combined is going to last longer than your time. And when we see the bigger vision in that, then we'll understand, okay, my time is not nowhere near as important as our assets, especially if we're trying to build generational wealth.
Like, okay, so say your end goal is marriage and kids,
right?
And you spent 5 years with someone and that wasn't the end result. So now you have to take some more time, do some healing, get over that heartbreak and get to know somebody else and get some time in with somebody else before you can make that an end goal in that relationship.
There's a lot of good women that are they're not it right now. So you guys are just looking over them and they're not getting married, and it is what it is. It's not, you're picking the girls that are outside of the club and then mad that they're outside of the club.
I don't see them getting married. There's only 2% of them getting married.
The thing is, you're overlooking the ones that you should be marrying. That's not nobody's fault but yours.
No, because the thing is, I mean, if we go,
you want the baddest bitch.
We don't want them. We just want it.
Yeah, well, y'all always bring up the club, right? Because you go to the club one time and you see bad bitch, right? You're not going to talk to her because what? You assume that she be here every night? No, you came here just like she came here.
Yeah. You might still love her. Yo, listen, because the thing is, you start getting the real reports.
Oh my God.
And when you get the real reports, you be tight because you be like, I love her and I wasted time.
Girls get the same reports. Not just the new girls. Women get the same reports. We know all the stuff. We know every little thing.
Yeah, but we don't care.
We gonna stick this out.
Like, y'all care. Like,
The bartender gonna tell me your ass be in here 3 times,
Sometimes you just you just
3 times a week.
fine.
yeah. But that's the problem.
You talk to all the girls.
So do we all do? So my question is, do we have? I'm gonna say we as in us, like here.
Who the black?
But I'm just saying we as in people. Do we even have something
What is that?
worth to exchange?
Right.
Like, what do you have that's worth to exchange other than your time? Because when I'm investing the same amount of time as you, that has already been equalized. Outside of our time, when we start to understand, okay, I'm investing this, and not just my time, then you can understand, like, all right, this is something that I'm really going to be committed to. But once I feel like nobody values time the way that we know how valuable time is. We don't value it. Yeah.
You know when time is a waste is when one person in the relationship is investing their time into the relationship and the other person is just, it's just nothing for them. They
Along for the ride.
Exactly. They're just along for the ride. So it's easy for them to be like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. And one person feels like their time has been wasted.
And then that's why I'm saying
Because you're not committed. That's what Erin was saying. If you're committed to this relationship, then
But you have to realize that that's only happening because the only thing you have to invest is time.